Hello students, I am Raman Gupta from Government College Bara, and in this video we'll study the poem She Walks in Beauty written by George Gordon Byron. George Gordon Byron was a poet of Romanticism, and he has written many poems. We have discussed about Gigi Byron in the last video, and in this video we'll study this poem written by him. So let's start the poem. She walks in beauty like the night of cloudless climes and starry skies, and all that is best of dark and bright meet in her aspect and her eyes, thus mellowed to that tender light which heaven to gaudy day denies. These lines of the first stanza tell us that Byron addresses these lines to Mrs. Wilmot Horton, who was in his relation. She was actually his cousin. The poem is a mixture of description and reflection of female beauty in comparison to a cloudless night with shining stars because of her black mourning dress spangled with too many stars. She happened to meet the poet at a ball, in a party. The description implies in pure and lifelike beauty. In these lines, the poet makes a beautiful description through beautiful words of beautiful beauty of Mrs. Horton, who was walking there in the ball in a black mourning dress, which was spangled with shining stars. The poet compares her to a cloudless dark night with full stars. We see if the sky in the night is full of stars, it looks very beautiful. In the same way, she was looking, or her dress was looking. Because of her dress and beauty, she has been personified as a real picture of beauty. She was beauty and she has been personified as the real picture of beauty. She has a happy fusion of darkness and brightness on her dress. This is very important. This fact is very important to know, that she has a happy fusion of darkness and brightness on her dress. Her dress was black, and the stars shining on her dress were of silver or shining color, bright. The mild radiance of her face and eyes make her the most beautiful lady of the ball as a central character of the stage. The poet has been fascinated because such beauty is not visible in the brightness of a day. Again, there is an important fact given. that this beauty can be seen only in night. In daytime, we cannot see such kind of beauty. What is the reason? That the reason will be discussed in the lines further. So, the poet says that darkness of night and the brightness of light make a beauty perfect because of the proportion. Proportion is very important, according to the poet. To make a thing perfect beautiful, the proportion of darkness and light should be ideal, then it becomes the most beautiful thing. So, in the next stanza, we study one shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tree tress. Tress is for hair. Or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place. Students, this stanza is very important from your examination point of view. So, read it well and prepare it. Very important lines. One shade the more, one ray the less, had half impaired the nameless grace, which waves in every raven tress or softly lightens over her face, where thoughts serenely sweet express, how pure, how dear their dwelling place. Her face and eyes have mild radiance because of the darkness and brightness. On such occasions, with such situation, the beauty looks as it is a perfect one. According to the poet, if the element of darkness had been deeper, even to the slightest degree, and the brightness lesser by a single ray, the change would certainly have spoiled her charm. Here, the poet wants to convey us that the darkness and the brightness both are up to mark, up to apt measure. The indescribable charm of her face adds more beauty to her locks of black hair spreading like unsolved branches of some creepers and plants. Besides, what more beautiful is as the sweet expressions, gentle and perfect thought appearing on her face. All these reflect her peace of mind, purity of heart, gentleness of thought, and concentration of wit because her face is the index of her mind. So she is beautiful to behold and wise and peaceful to feel. She was looking the ideal beauty. In these lines, the poet talks about the expression of her face. They are the mirror of her inner beauty, as they are calm, gentle, and peaceful. Every part of her body, her face, play an important role to make her the perfect beauty. So, the perfect combination of darkness and brightness was the reason for which she was looking the most beautiful woman. Students, this poem has been written in praise of female beauty. Many poets have written in praise of the beauty of women. So, this poem is one of them. So, we study the last stanza. And on that cheek and over the brow, oh, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. So, the reason of the beauty has been explained by the poet himself in the last stanza. And on that cheek and over that brow, so soft, so calm, yet eloquent, the smiles that win, the tints that glow, but tell of days in goodness spent, a mind at peace with all below, a heart whose love is innocent. What the poet wants to convey these lines? These lines are the concluding lines of the poem, in which the poet talks about the visible beauty and the invisible beauty of Mrs. Horton, both the beauties of Mrs. Horton. What are both beauties? One is visible beauty and another is invisible beauty. She is walking here and there in the ball, wearing morning black garments, looking like a cloudless night, with shining stars with required darkness and brightness, up to the apt measures. Her face, her eyes, her hair, her cheeks, and her brows look more beautiful. Means every part of her beauty or every part of her face has been told beautiful. Then that of day's brightness. What more beautiful is, says the poet, is her expression on her face. They are the symbols of calmness, quietness, softness, gentleness, and so on. They reflect her peace of mind and concentration. Her cheeks and brows have enough beauty to fascinate her smile. To fascinate. How can she fascinate? Every part of her beautiful face tries to fascinate the viewers. Her smile is to win the heart of beholders. The glow of her face has enough attraction to hypnotize for the onlookers. All those expressions, smile, and gestures reflect that she has lived a perfect life full of happiness. This is well said, students, that our face is the mirror of our life. Our face is the mirror of our thoughts. The same has been told by the poet in these lines, that she was looking beautiful, or her facial expressions were beautiful, and they were evident that she was living the happy life, happiest life That's why her facial expressions were so beautiful. There is no any expression of disturbance on her face. She is a beautiful lady of a peaceful dwelling, as her face is the index of her mind. That is also in a happy mood. The poet concludes with the words that she has both the beauties, the outward and the inward. Through these lines, the poet wants to convey us that happy mind, happy finds, and the expression of the face tells activities of the heart. So, the poet in these lines tells us about the perfect beauty and the environment, the elements which make a beauty perfect, and that is the ideal proportion of darkness and brightness. None of them should be more or less in proportion if they want to make the object ideally beautiful. Her dress is compared to a night with shining stars. Her face and eyes are told a fusion of perfect beauty. The poet also talks about the expressions of her face. They are the mirror of her inner beauty, as they are calm, gentle, and peaceful. And through these lines, the poet says us that if one is happy, he or she will look happy and beautiful. And the expressions are the results of or the mirror of our inner thoughts. And what one does can be seen in his heart, or what is in one's heart, he can act accordingly. He can act according to that thoughts only. So, the poem is really beautiful and very important from examination point of view. Generally, extracts from this poem are asked in your examination, so prepare it, read it well, and write the explanation in your own language. Practice it at home, and if you find any problem, you can consult me, as I have told in last video, in most of the videos, and you can say in all my videos, I always tell you, if you find any problem, you can consult me, and I will suggest you the solution. I will tell you the answer. So read it well, prepare it well, and I hope you will like it. Thank you, students, and have a nice day. This is all about the poem She Walks in Beauty. Thank you.